Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Ethan Garvey, and today I'm going to be teaching you all how to solve the last layer of your Rubik's Cube. So far you've gotten this far. You have your first two layers already completed, and now you're looking to finish this last layer. This may seem to be the most daunting task, but it's actually only going to take you 4 steps to really finish this cube off, and it's going to be nice and intuitive, and it's not going to be hard. So let me break this daunting task down for you into 4 simple, easy steps in order to solve your last layer. So for the purposes of this video, we're not going to be using the actual fully stickered cube, and I broke it down into 2 separate cubes. So that way it's easier for you all to see. There's a lot less colors and a lot less going on. So the first step in starting your last layer is going to be getting a yellow cross. And this right here is what we call the yellow cross. In order to get to this yellow cross, we're going to have to learn what we call an algorithm, which is where a series of movements that I tell you, and you're going to have to follow them step by step, and I'll put them up on screen in order to get to this stage right here. So I'll put the algorithm up on screen right here. As you can see, it says F, R, U, R, U, F. However, these last 3 have little apostrophes next to them, and that's when I say prime. So instead of saying F, R, U, R, I'll say F, R, U, R prime. And whenever I say a prime move, that's whenever you turn that side counterclockwise. And whenever I just say it normally, just the letter, you turn it clockwise. So for example, this algorithm is F, where you turn the front clockwise, R, U, which is the top layer, R prime, U prime, F prime. And that'll be the algorithm we're going to use in order to get our yellow cross. So in trying to get your yellow cross, there are 4 different cases you can have when you get to this step. So once you solve your first 2 layers, you'll go ahead and look at this and keep the yellow on the top. You'll either have a dot like this, you'll have an L shape like this, or you'll have a bar shape like this. And then lastly, if you're lucky, you'll end up having the cross already done. So the way these shapes appear are actually sequential. So the dot is going to be the very first case. It takes the longest to get to the cross. And then the L shape, and then the bar, and then the cross. So if you're lucky, you'll end up somewhere later down the line where you have either a bar or you already have the cross, or you'll end up like this where you get kind of unlucky and you just have a dot and you'll have to do the algorithm a couple of times. But don't worry, we're only going to have to do that one same algorithm that's on the bottom of the screen in order to get to your cross step. Now I'm going to go ahead and introduce you all to some cubing lingo. If you haven't already heard this, this will be new to you, but it's very helpful when trying to remember algorithms, because this same set of moves is in a lot of algorithms that you'll learn later down the road. It is called sexy move, and don't worry, it's nothing crazy. It's the R, U, R prime, U prime that you see on this algorithm in the middle. It's a lot easier than trying to say all of the algorithm. You can just learn, okay, sexy move is R, U, R prime, U prime. So later down the road, when you have other algorithms, you'll be able to say, okay, I do this, and then I do sexy move, and then I do that. That way it saves you 4 whole steps whenever trying to think about it, and you don't really have to. It's just a memory technique that I use and a lot of other cubers use that helps you learn the algorithm faster, and it's just a fun way to do it too. So let's go ahead and learn this algorithm. So in order to get your cross, if you start out with the dot, you can hold the top layer in any way you want, as long as you keep the yellow on the top. And you're going to go ahead and do this algorithm. F, sexy move, and then F prime. And that'll get you to this. Now, if you ended up getting the L off the start, it could look something like this, this, or this. But what you're going to do is just turn this top layer and make it so it points to the right, and so it points straight down. And then you'll repeat that algorithm. F, sexy move, F prime. And now you'll have something like this. And don't worry, if you have yellow corners, you can go ahead and ignore those for now. That's why I took these stickers off, because I felt like they were distracting whenever you were trying to see what shapes I'm talking about. But if you have the corners, we're going to do that next. So you can completely ignore the corners for now. Now this right here is the 3rd stage where you have the bar. Now you can have it pointed like this, or you can have it pointed like this. And we want it to be horizontal instead of vertical. So just turn that top layer to where it's horizontal from left to right, and then you do the algorithm one more time. F, sexy move, and then F prime. And now you'll have your yellow cross. Now that you have your yellow cross, we're going to move on to step 2, which is orienting the cross. Let's go ahead and switch over to this cube right here, where we have some of the colors on the side. So now what we're going to do next is, now that you have your yellow cross, we're going to line up their edges with the other corresponding color and their centers. So there's a couple cases that you can have, and what you can do is freely spin this until you try to line one up. So there we go, we lined up red, and we can look around. Blue doesn't match with green, green doesn't match with orange, and orange doesn't match with blue. So let's rotate it again. And what we're going to try to do is at least get 2. So let's rotate it again. And oh, look, we got some. We have orange and we have green. Now sometimes you get really unlucky and you'll have some where they're just opposite. So we'll have orange and then we'd have red lined up. In that case, it doesn't matter how you hold it or which direction you hold it, and we'll do our next algorithm. But if you get fortunate enough to have 2, what we can do is hold a solved one in the very back and on the far right side. So our unmatched ones that need to switch are on the left and in the front. And then we're going to do a new algorithm, which is this one right here. As you can see, this one is almost sexy move. It's almost sexy because it has the last one, the U, is actually not a prime move. So it's RU, R prime U. So it's very close, but you can say, hey, it's almost sexy, and just remember that last one's different. And then the last 3 steps, the R, U2, R prime, it replaces your corner, and I'll explain that here in just a second. So we're gonna go ahead and hold it in the right and on the back. And again, if you don't have any, or if you have some that are just across, it doesn't really matter how you hold it. And then once you get 2, you can put it in the right and the back. And we're gonna do this algorithm. So we'll go R, U, R prime, U. And this part is why I said we're going to replace the corner. As you can see, our corner is back here, and we're going to go R, and then U2, because this white piece needs to line up here. U2, and then you just put your corner and fix your white side, just like that. And in my case, it actually solved everything, but that's not realistically what's going to happen. This is realistically what you're going to have, where you're going to have all of your centers lined up with their corresponding edges, but your corners are kind of all over the place. This leads us to our next step, where we're going to place the corners. So step 3, we're going to place the corners where they're supposed to go. And when I say that, I mean this corner right here needs to be a yellow, an orange, and a green corner, but it's none of those things except for yellow. If we rotate the cube, we have a green and red, and this isn't green and red, so we need to spin it again. Let's see, we have an orange and green, and that's not right. And we have a blue and orange, and that's a green and red. We got unlucky and have 0 out of the 4 corners that we need to put in their proper places. And in this step, we're not worrying about where the yellow part is. We don't need it on the top just yet. We just need the actual corner in the location that it's going to be. Now this algorithm's a little bit more complicated, but it's only 8 turns, so I broke it up into parentheses. So you have your first 4 and your last 4. That way it's a little bit easier to follow and a little bit easier to look at. So you can say, okay, I've only done the first 4, and now I can do my last 4. So you can do it 4 steps at a time and not have to try to think about where you were in the algorithm. In this case, you can have 3 different options. You'll either have 0 corners, you'll have 1 corner, or you'll have all 4 corners, because the way this algorithm works is it rotates these 3 corners around until it puts them in the right place. So if you have 1 corner that's in the right place, hold off for just a second and I'll explain it after I get 1 on mine. But if you have 0, it doesn't matter as long as the yellow stays on the top. We're going to do this algorithm together. And just to mention again so you don't get confused, the letters with the apostrophes in the algorithm are going to be counterclockwise. And remember, when we do L moves, which is the left side, counterclockwise is this way. So counterclockwise, and this will be regular L like this. And then on the right side, this is clockwise, and this is counterclockwise. I know it seems simple, but sometimes you get messed up. Even when I'm learning a new algorithm, I sometimes turn it the wrong way. So if you have 0, go ahead and follow along with me. And if you have 1 or all 4, you can go ahead and skip to the next part, or just wait on me. It's only going to take a few seconds. So you're going to go ahead and do a U move, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L prime. And just double check to make sure that all of your centers are still lined up. And now we can go ahead and circle the cube and see if we got lucky and we got one, which we should have. That's how this algorithm works. So this is blue and red, and that's not right. This is green and red, and that's not right. Oh, here we go. We got one. So we have orange and green, and this is orange and green. So as you can see, we actually got this one. And then this one's also wrong because it's red and blue, and this is orange and blue. So now if your cube looks like this and you have one corner that's in the correct spot, and again, it doesn't matter if it's rotated the other way or if it's solved or whatever, as long as it's in the correct location on the cube, that is all that matters. And just to explain, this algorithm does not move this bottom right corner, it only rotates these other three corners. So if you have one that's in the correct location, you can keep it safe by holding it in the bottom right, just like this, again keeping the yellow on the top, and then repeat this algorithm one more time. So U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, and L. And then double check that all of your centers are still in the right spot. And look at that. Now all of our corners are in the correct location, which is awesome. So now that we have all of our corners, we're going to go ahead and go into our very last step. Now this step is the easiest algorithm. It's only 4 turns, but you will have to repeat it numerous times. And it's very, very important that you watch closely and follow along and listen to what I say of how to hold the cube and turn the cube, because this could make or break your solve. Now don't worry, it's not complicated once you've done it once or twice, but for those first time solvers, it can be confusing, and if you don't follow along perfectly, it'll ruin your whole scramble, and don't worry, it's okay. You'll be able to do it again. Just take a deep breath, take a break, and come back to it. But as long as you follow along very carefully, you might even just watch this section first, watch it all the way through, and then come back to it and try it on your own cube. That way you might have a better understanding. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the cube sideways like this. Now I know that looks scary, but we're going to have the yellow on the left side and we're going to have the white on the right side. Now what you need to do is you need to pick a color that's going to stay in front with you the entire time for the rest of the solve. It does not matter which color, but just pick one color and make sure it stays facing towards you the entire time for the rest of this solve. So for this example, I'm going to pick green. I really like this color green on this cube, and we're just going to stick with green. So again, turn your cube so that yellow is facing the left, the white is facing the right, and for this example, keep green right in front of you. It does not matter which color you choose, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm picking green. Now the algorithm shows up on screen right here. Again, it's only 4 moves. It's super simple, but you need to repeat it until your corner has yellow facing the yellow side. So as you can see right here, this yellow is facing in front of us. It's not solved because it needs to be facing the yellow. So hold the cube sideways just like this, yellow and white, and then our color of choice in the front, and do this algorithm. U prime, R prime, U, R. Now you might be freaking out, but it's okay. Do not turn your cube, just repeat the algorithm again. U prime, R prime, U, R. Now, pause. Look at our corner. It's moved, right? So it was in front of us before, and now it's on the top. Now do not panic. We're all under control as long as you keep your green in front, the white on the right, and the yellow on the side. Even if you drop your cube and forget, green in front, yellow on left, white on the right. Now, do the algorithm again. U prime, R prime, U, R. It's not solved yet. One more time. U prime, R prime, U, R. Now look, our cube is messed up down here, but our corner is correct. Now this is the very, very, very most important thing that you need to pay attention to. do not rotate your cube and do the algorithm up here. That'll mess up the cube, and that's what most people do, and the most common thing when people mess up this last layer. What you need to do is keep your color of choice in the front. So keep green in the front. Just rotate this left side so a new corner that needs to be solved is in this top left position. It does not matter which one you choose, as long as you put one that needs to be solved in the top left. Because this is what we had before. This one's now finished. So just rotate that left side, put a new corner to be solved in this top left, and repeat your algorithm until it switches over to here. Remember to keep your center of choice in the front. We chose green in the beginning. Keep green in the front and repeat the algorithm. U prime, R prime, U, R. Do it again. U prime, R prime, U, R. Now you can see our corner has rotated again. It started here, and now the yellow's on the top, just like the last one. Now at this stage, if at any point you do that algorithm and you complete the algorithm, just those 4 moves, and it's on the top, you may rotate your left side and choose a new one. But in my case, this is not the case. So we're gonna have to do this algorithm 2 more times to rotate it again. Green in front, yellow on left, white on right. U prime, R prime, U, R. U prime, R prime, U, R. As you can see, it is now solved. Our cube is scrambled down here, but is under control as long as you keep your color of choice in the front. Rotate your left side for a new corner. And as you can see, this one's starting on the top, so we're not going to have to do that algorithm 4 times. We're only going to have to do it twice. So we can do the algorithm again, keeping green in front. U prime, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R. This corner is solved. We have 1 more to go. Let's rotate our left side, keeping green in front. And we're going to have to do this algorithm 2 more times because the yellow's on the top. U prime, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R. Now if you have all 4 on the top and you kept the green in the front, your cube should be solved. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch to a regular 3x3 with all of the colors so you guys can kind of follow along what it's supposed to look like on a full cube with all of the stickers. I'm going to quickly walk through what your yellow cross might look like with all the corners in place. That way you can try to look through and see what it'll look like, especially since it took all the stickers off this one. It'll be kind of hard to see sometimes when you have corner pieces. So again, with your dot case, it doesn't matter. Do that algorithm we showed up before. And now this right here is our L case, just like this. Remembering to hold it in the right and the bottom, we'll do the algorithm 1 more time. And this is going to be our bar case, just like this. Remember to hold it horizontally and do the algorithm 1 last time, and that will give us our cross. Next, we're moving on to lining up our edge pieces. Again, looking for 2, and in this case, we got unlucky and don't really have anything here. We don't have the 2 adjacent ones. We have 1 here and 1 here. I typically hold it in the front and back, but I don't think it really matters. So again, holding them like this, and we're going to do that algorithm. And in this case, we got 2 now. So now we're going to hold our solved ones in the right and the back and do that algorithm 1 more time. And rotate once, and now they're all lined up. Perfect. Next is going to be placing our corners where they're supposed to be. In this case, we actually have one oriented and solved. That's pretty lucky. So we'll go ahead and do that algorithm, keeping it in the bottom right. And it looks like we got it. And we have 2 already oriented. That is awesome. That is so lucky. So now, as you can see, all of our corners are in place. We're going to pick a color. Let's pick green again just for continuity. And we already have one like this. But if your cube looked like this, you could just rotate it so an unsolved corner is in the top left. And we're going to do that algorithm. Sorry about that, my camera stopped recording and started falling off the tripod. So remembering to put yellow on the left side, white on the right side, and choosing a color. So in this case, I'm going to choose green. And we're going to hold our unsolved corner in the top left and do the algorithm twice. U prime, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R. And now our corner is solved. And don't worry about all of this. This will fix itself once we fix this corner. Keeping green in front, this cube, this corner is solved. This one is the last one that needs fixed, so we'll do the algorithm. And remembering, because it's in the front, we're going to have to do it 4 times. U prime, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R. See, now it's on the top. U prime, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R. And now our final top turn. And your cube will be solved. I hope this video was helpful and clarified all the harder parts of that last layer. If you guys did like this video, please feel free to like it. It helps spread the channel around to everyone else, and I hope that this is helpful. If you guys did enjoy, please share it with your friends and consider subscribing. I'm very close to 20,000 and I would like to try to hit 20,000 by the summertime of next year. That would be amazing. So if you guys could help support me, that would be awesome. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next couple of days with a new video. Peace out.